Hello and welcome to Frontrunner Motorsport. Now, I haven't done a piece of motorsport news for a while, and I want to cover something fresh and new. So here's a piece of news from 2 years ago. So sit back, relax and enjoy. If you like the video, remember to subscribe and leave a comment. And with that said, let's begin.
Welcome to Frontrunner Motorsport.
So how do you feel about the Brabham name returning to motorsport? I'm stoked. It's so rare to see a name from the golden era of racing return from the afterlife. Back when men wore tweed and flat caps, racing was dangerous, and champagne corks popped in the driver's lounge before the race even started. Formula 1 was dominated by small manufacturers, with the likes of Cooper, Van Wall, Lotus, BRM and the like. Over the years, these manufacturers slowly disappeared, never to return. Brabham, set up by Jack Brabham and Ron Toranek, managed to survive until 1992, but the last few years were brutal, although they did give debuts to legends such as Damon Hill, Mark Blundell, Stefano Modena, Eric van der Poel, Giovanna Amati. You can see why they went out of business, can't you? Another driver to race for Brabham during its death throes was son of the legendary Jack Brabham, David Brabham, and now he is putting together a new Brabham car to race in endurance racing, the Brabham BT62, with the ultimate goal to race at Le Mans in 2021 or 2022, built by a new Australian-based manufacturer, Brabham Automotive. So what are the stats like? Well, a near 700 horsepower 5.4 litre V8 powers this mighty beast and is provided by an undisclosed motor manufacturer, which is interesting. It weighs less than a tonne with ultralight carbon fibre body panels, rear-wheel drive, and it sounds like an absolute monster. Brabham have only made 70 of these cars and they cost about £1 million each, and I'm sure they will sell because people love exclusive cars with an interesting history behind them. The name BT62 follows on from the traditional Brabham naming policy, with the B for Brabham and T for Ron Toranek, who was a partner of Jack Brabham when the company was originally started back in the 60s. This entire thing is both an exercise in both nostalgia and mechanical excellence. And as I said, this isn't new news. The car won its debut race at Brands Hatch in the 2019 Brit Car Endurance Championship. David Brabham and Will Powell took the car to victory in its very first shakedown run. It broke down in the second race with alternator issues, but still an impressive start to what is an ambitious project. Building a car from the ground up to take on the might of larger manufacturers in the world of GT racing, a scene that is already very competitive. What is interesting is that David Brabham is the only son involved with this project. Jeff doesn't seem to have anything to do with it. I'm not surprised Gary Brabham isn't involved. He's probably changed his name and his face after committing unspeakable acts to little girls and is currently hiding deep in the Australian outback somewhere after spending a measly 6 months in prison. But Jeff has raced with brother David in the past. They have won the Bathurst 1000 together in 1997 in a BMW, and yet I don't see his name attached to this anywhere. Maybe he is involved in some form and is just keeping quiet. So what is the ultimate goal for the Brabham BT62? Well, the company has said it wants to race at Le Mans in 2021 or 2022. Given current world events, 2022 seems more likely, but I would imagine having a go at the Bathurst 12-hour endurance race will probably happen first. With Holden pretty much dead and buried at this point, the Brabham name returning is really the pride of Australian motorsport. The cars are being built in Adelaide, and Australian motorsport fans need something to cheer. I've even heard rumours of these cars being converted to V8 supercar spec to race in that series, although I've heard a lot of manufacturers may be attempting to join the series. Anything to stop it becoming the Ford Mustang 1 make series is a good thing. Whatever happens, I really hope they can make a success of this car and bring the Brabham name back to the upper echelons of motorsport. After stopping another entity from using the Brabham name in Formula 1, David Brabham did launch Brabham Racing with intention to eventually race in Formula 1, though he stated that financial issues meant Formula 1 would have to change for it to happen. But hey, with the budget cap in place and maybe if a large sponsor or investor backs the firm and they successfully launch their own car, then who knows what could happen. I'd love to see the Brabham name back in motorsport, and I'm sure a lot of other people would too. Thank you for watching. Are you Australian? What do you think of the Brabham project? Rest of the world too. And what other olden day motor manufacturers would you like to see return to motorsport, and more specifically Formula 1? I eagerly await your answers. Meanwhile, why not subscribe to the channel? Still aiming for 50 by the end of July, and hopefully the return of motorsport will aid that. Also, please leave a comment, thumbs up, follow me on Twitter and Facebook. There's links in the banner. Stay safe and have a good one.